Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches. Retro Review episode
47.
Tonight we're reviewing Foul Play.
Foul Play.
First things first, shout out to Grant, our Patreon, Lady Catherine DeBerg. He specifically requested this movie and he paid for it, so we did it.
And it was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. I'd never seen it. Avryl's a big fan.
Big fan.
So it worked out great. Second thing second, shout out to our wine sponsor, Wink. Try wink.com/moviepitches. You get $22 off your first month of wine. Lots of arm movements, I don't know. Wow.
So, yes, Foul Play, one of my absolute favorite movies.
Wow. I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's so there was a period, okay, we're going back. There was a period of time in middle school, I am not an early riser, but there was like a week, I remember, where I was like, I'm going to wake up at like 5 in the morning to like have time in the morning to do something. It was a weird time. I don't know. I was like, I'm always late.
You were, yeah.
I'm going to wake up at some crazy hour and have all this like morning time by myself, right?
I've always aspired to that, but never.
Like I said, for like a few days in middle school, I nailed it.
Nice.
But other than that, no, I'm a sleeper inner.
Yeah.
But anyway, apropos, because woke up, turned on AMC before they had commercials. I'm dating myself. And Foul Play was just starting. And I was like, what's this?
What's this?
My mind was blown. I couldn't believe how scared I was, but how I still wanted to keep watching.
Yeah.
This movie was so scary to me when I first watched it because, I mean, it's scary, but like I was such a fraidy cat. But it had just that right amount of like, oh no, I'm so scared. Oh, but I'm so into what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And so that was my introductions. And then I watched it like a million times. And Gloria Mundi was a fashion icon of mine, an icon in general because she's fabulous.
Sure.
Just
yeah.
San Francisco, all of it.
San Francisco. I really liked this movie. And I think it's fun because there's not a ton in this genre of thriller / rom-com.
Thriller, rom-com, caper. It's very specific, and it's very specifically tailored to things that I like.
I guess in some ways it's kind of like a modern noir.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
I mean, they're absolutely making that joke.
Yes. But it's like more modern. It's less like, she walked into my office.
It's not a parody.
No.
It's a sort of, 70s take on a noir.
Exactly.
The closest thing I can think of that sort of achieves this is Charade, which you also need to watch. And a lot of movies tried to do this, but something about Foul Play is so deftly handled. I think it's because of the director, Colin Higgins, who wrote like Silver Streak, which is like straight up a ripoff. Not a ripoff. It's a comedy version of North by Northwest.
Oh, fun.
He wrote Harold and Maude, which is like a really specific sense of humor. He wrote Foul Play. He wrote 9 to 5.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right? He wrote Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. It's all very
my goodness.
Specifically him.
Yeah.
And he only directed 3 movies.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Foul Play, 9 to 5,
okay,
and Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Wow.
I was like, that's a pretty fucking great resume.
That's pretty crazy, actually.
Right?
Yeah. All with fabulous buns.
Yes.
I mean, that's pretty crazy, actually.
Right?
When you think about it. You're I mean, all with fabulous buns.
Yeah.
He started with 1, then went to 3.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess back down to 1. But
Dolly Parton's like a bunt for all.
Wow. I guess it's 3.
Rude. I think he really understands genre and tone, and obviously has a love for noir and Hitchcock and all of those things, and like really studied them because he found a way to translate it.
I agree.
So, success.
Yeah. So, Foul Play, Goldie Hawn. Basically Goldie Hawn. I was going to say, Chevy Chase, he's not even in it that much.
No, he shows up because she's the fucking star and she's a boss.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed with Gloria Mundi. Her like sassy convertible.
Yep. She's a librarian.
Her raincoat. Did I at one time own a yellow umbrella because of this film? Yes, I did. And actually, there is a statistic that's real that women with umbrellas are less likely to be attacked or what, because you have a weapon.
Sure.
There's like an actual statistic on that. I don't know what
Okay.
the percentage is, but there you go.
That statistic is untrue.
You know it's easier to be killed by terrorists than it is to get married over the age of 40.
That is not true. That statistic is not true.
No, it's not.
No. It was.
No, I know.
Okay.
But it is true.
But I thought of that in this too, because there was her friend was like
Stella.
Yes, she was great.
Nobody's gonna mess with Stella unless Stella wants to be messed.
So it's Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase is there. But I will say this is the only movie similar to Romancing the Stone where I'm actually like, I get Chevy Chase as a romantic lead somewhat.
He's not in that.
That's the only movie that I am also into Michael Douglas. Sorry, I didn't make that clear.
I was just like, wait, am I going crazy?
Oh God, can you imagine Chevy Chase starring in Romancing the Stone?
Absolutely
Barf. But like similar to Romancing the Stone, where I'm like, I get it, Michael Douglas. Okay, this fit on you for some reason. This worked. I feel the same-ish way about this movie.
I would agree.
Yeah.
However, he, in the romantic scene, kept putting his tongue up against his teeth in this weird thing.
See? You should always trust your first impressions.
It was driving me crazy, and I was like, what are you doing? You're trying to look cute or something, but it's driving me crazy. Stop it. It's not cute.
But you know what I mean? How they found a way to make his, like, asshole cockiness.
You got a different way.
Not his literal asshole. His asshole cockiness work.
Yes, because he wasn't too asshole cocky.
Yeah.
And also, he was younger than a lot of stuff.
Yes, and she was always taking the piss out of him.
Absolutely.
She's right, you know. Nice party. A lot of chances.
Didn't anyone ever tell you that eavesdropping is not nice?
She was just like, look.
I mean, when they first meet, so they're, San Francisco, the bridge is behind them, and he, does his classic stumbling Chevy Chase, you-know-ness, and it's funny, because he's good at that. He starts to try and chat her up, and he starts to go on this long diatribe, and she's just like, I have to go.
My single worst problem as a child, I'll never forget my mother and parole officer getting together with the priest, discussing the difficulties I'd had.
I've gotta go.
Like, she's just like, absolutely not. Engaging in whatever this is, goodbye.
Yep.
It was just so good. But every time he tried to be like, cool guys, she would just be like, no, I have a witty comeback for this.
I'm a strong, independent woman, thank you.
Yes! She was such a fabulous role model. I really, really dug her character. She's like a divorcee, and she's a librarian, and she's gonna take a chance on love, and...
Oh, right.
boy.
We haven't talked about the original song.
Yes, the Oscar nominated.
Crazy. Good for Barry Manilow.
Good for Barry Manilow. Remember when he came out and everyone was like, and?
Yeah. Yes, so she's driving down the coast of Northern California.
Somewhere.
That looks in no way like the coast of England.
You know what's remarkable is how much England looks in no way like Southern California.
So, I don't think we need to get into the plot too much. Oh, I will say this.
Okay, yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, go watch it.
If you haven't seen this movie, I personally think it's an undiscovered gem. It's really fun and funny, and the cast is great, and it knows what it's doing, and it's a very specific type of movie. Yeah. So I would highly recommend it.
I would too. And it's funny because, like, I've been watching a lot more of these, like, kind of, not 70s necessarily, but, like, 80s-ish movies and stuff recently for whatever reason. I'm like, oh, let's go back and watch that thing that I never saw. Yeah. And some of them don't hold up so well.
No.
Some of them are better than others. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'll say I watched What About Bob?
Oh, I haven't seen it in so long, but that was a movie that my family and I watched together very frequently.
I know a lot of people that were like, oh, I loved What About Bob?
But it's a very specific kind of humor.
It is.
That you either tune into or you don't, because it's like cringe humor.
Yes, and I don't care for that.
It's Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Sure.
Like, it's that.
Yes.
So did it not hold up in the, like...
No, it was just
this isn't funny, or was it like... Ugh?
No, it was just that.
So it may...
I'm not saying...
It may have never worked.
I think that might be true. I think that might be true. But anyway.
So anyway, yes, Foul Play, I think does a really good job of... So there's a lot of different stereotypes in this movie. And it's very meta in its sort of description. Like, the perfect way to describe it is she goes to an old movie to see, like, an old noir movie, right?
He's waiting for the Chinese sailor, the one Alan led. thinks kidnapped the old gypsy.
Like, it's all these, like, very descriptive caricatures of people,
Sure.
right? And that's very much describing the world that this movie is living in, right? Where it's like, oh, the albino and the dwarf and the, you know, like this, that, and the other, where, you know, it's obviously riffing on old noir movies.
Sure.
And so I think it's doing a really fine job of knowing exactly what genre it's taking on and mostly sensitively handling it for the 70s.
Especially for the 70s. Because I was going to say, too, like, there were parts of it where I was like, I mean, if you watch the viewing party, I'm sure you can see my face where I'm just like,
Ugh.
but
it always kind of came back and was like, you know what? We're going to talk about it.
exactly, we're going to talk about, like, I appreciate, like, you know, they say dwarf a lot, and then at a certain point,
Billy Barty shows up.
You're the dwarf.
Well, actually, we prefer to be called little people.
and he goes, well, we prefer little person, and so you're like, okay, well, they've addressed it.
Yeah. I think they never say dwarf again.
If they do, it's in reference to the man's
Who's like,
nickname.
his alias is dwarf. But like,
right.
it does address it.
Right.
And like, Billy Barty is treated mostly with respect.
Yes.
Even
Well.
though he is thrown out a window. And there's like, and hilarious hijinks like Buster Keaton, Harold Lloyd. I mean, it's referencing a lot of things. It's
Sure.
referencing silent movies. It's referencing noir. It's referencing Hitchcock and thrillers.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
But yeah, so Goldie Hawn driving her way down, and she just decides to take a chance again.
Take a chance.
And she picks up a hitchhiker. Real bold move.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was the 70s.
Yes, it was much bigger back then. But still. You know, he just hops in the car. Doesn't say, it was just like, blurp.
Well, we find out because he's being chased.
I guess that's true, yeah. And then we also find out later that because like, he's kind of given a weird creepo vibe, but like, not in like a, I'm gonna murder you, but like in a weird creepo vibe. You know, different vibe.
What's your name?
Gloria.
It's a pretty name.
Thank you.
Not creep weirdo, just creepo.
So it all starts with the MacGuffin, because of course this movie knows what it's doing, with the microfilm that he puts into a pack of cigarettes that he puts into her purse that he's gonna come get later, and then of course
He gets murdered.
he gets killed. So then it's a series of people coming after her, of a cavalcade of characters,
Yeah.
and she's at the center of it, but ultimately that MacGuffin does not matter whatsoever.
I love
In the wackiest, I still don't know. So Burgess Meredith plays her landlord. He's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Love him.
Yeah.
He has a pet boa constrictor. Esme.
Esme, how many times have I told you, do not eat the cigarettes?
So her friend is murdered. Her date is murdered, right? I love that there's constantly like the dead body right there. Where'd it go?
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
Oh, you're just a crazy,
You're a crazy
hysterical
yeah,
woman.
Yep. Did you drop acid earlier today?
Listen, you shouldn't go to picture shows like this and smoke that stuff if it's going to affect you the way it does, huh?
I love this introduction.
Ibutu tribe. Fascinating society. And we could take a leaf from their book.
And then you see the snake.
I mean, the score to this movie is
Sure.
very iconic to me, but also very over
Very
the top.
referential,
Hitchcock,
noir.
you
Yes,
know, it's
exactly.
very that.
Yes.
The snake creeping up on her fabulous high-heeled rain boots.
Obsessed.
The snake
Oh, yeah.
coming up, and it's all very like, what's the James Bond movie where the tarantula is like crawling up? You know, it's one of the Sean Connery ones.
Yeah.
I can't remember at the moment.
All
but,
the titles blend in my head.
you know, it's coming up to get him.
The world has died another day and will go on tomorrow because you.
Oh no! I mean, Sean Connery only made like 6 movies.
But
you haven't named any of them, by the way. It's like Thunderball, Dr. No, Goldfinger.
But you know, like Bond titles are all just like...
Sure. Never Say Never Again. Technically not a Bond movie.
Oh.
They like fired him because he was old, and he was like, I'm still gonna make it. So Never Say Never Again is just sort of like as loose of a script you could take from Thunderball and like recreate into a different. So it's like a weird copyright free Bond-esque amalgamation.
Interesting. Huh.
But anyway.
Yeah.
So it's very that.
Okay, cool.
The snakes coming up together.
Yeah.
Oh!
Esme, get away from those cookies. Esme, get away.
But yes, so the snake laughing. Okay, yes, so The cigarettes, the MacGuffin, they've been here, there, they're in her purse. That everyone is passing hands.
Yeah.
It's so
Fell out.
important.
Yeah,
It's so
so
important. And
I mean, I really was. There's like a timestamp on it too. Someone's getting murdered tomorrow. I was like, they have to find the goddamn cigarettes.
a good MacGuffin will do that to you.
You sure? A good one.
A good one.
Not a. We had to put these 3 boxes
No,
together.
not if it's just generic boxes or generic wayfinders and knives. Things that don't matter on a treasure hunt. Anyway, Burgess Meredith finds the cigarettes finally after 2 hours of what is in this microfilm?
Right.
Throws it in the fire. I mean, I loved this. It was so good. And then this shot still eludes me to this day. The snake laughs.
Yeah.
Like its mouth moves.
Yes.
I love this movie. What can I say?
Yeah.
Because I'll be there in a flash kicking ass.
Oh, yeah.
And if anything disturbs you in the middle of the night, you just scream. And I'll be upstairs in a flash kicking ass.
I mean, he was great. Really liked him.
Burgess Meredith is so funny in this movie.
I would say the whole cast was really quite great.
Everyone that's there, and I love that even the like little side characters have like they're doing a bit. Like at the movie theater, like she runs out of the theater. Someone's been murdered! Oh my god! And like the concession stand guy is like,
Come quickly. There's a man dead in there.
Where?
In there.
I'm sorry, you'll have to see the manager.
oh well,
You'll have to talk
you
to the manager.
I don't know. And then the
But
woman,
he's busy or whatever.
the woman he's having
Oh,
an
yeah.
affair with. It's almost intermission, and I have to heat up the.
Intermission's in 20 minutes, and I gotta go warm up the weenies.
Like everyone is playing a part, and they're very like memorable.
Yes. Well, and her friend is great.
Oh my God, Stella is so great.
It's called a screamer. They make a grab for your tits. You just flick the switch.
No, I'm just thinking, I'm trying to decide, but I think between this and Man of the House are probably my 2 favorite Chevy Chase roles. Do you disagree?
I don't necessarily disagree. I just really didn't know what you were talking about at first. I was like, what's happening now? No, I do disagree. Three Amigos, which you haven't seen.
Sure.
And Vacation, which you haven't seen. No, you've seen Christmas Vacation. Have you seen Vacation? You haven't seen Vacation at all?
Mm-mm.
I think you'd like it. I think you would like it.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
It's sort of mean humor.
Okay.
Which can go either way with people.
Yeah.
So, yes, I don't disagree, but I do disagree, is what
great.
I would say.
Okay, great.
He's certainly not my favorite amigo. He's my least favorite amigo.
Right. Of course, well, the Martins.
The Martins, obviously. So anyway, yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, also, he's like a jerk in Man of the House.
But that's his role.
Sure.
So I think it's less... And then it doesn't by the end he comes around.
I'm
now,
sure.
I would love to do a retro review of Man of the House.
Oh, boy. I would want to do a double feature of Man of the House and Getting Even with Dad. Remember that movie?
Never seen it.
Ted Danson, Macaulay Culkin. My dad's a crook and I'm,
Like that. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I'm on board. I will say, I like Ted Danson a lot. He was so great in The Good Place that I'm just like, yes, Ted Danson, here for all of this and all of your ties.
We haven't talked about Dudley Moore.
Who I definitely thought was Michael Sheen.
So rude. So rude.
I don't know.
Michael Sheen was probably like at most a teenager when this movie came out.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's true. I didn't really think. I mean, how old is Chevy Chase?
Old.
How old is Michael Sheen? 50. So he would have been 10.
But anyway, Dudley Moore, this was my introduction.
Nope.
What?
He would have been 8.
I like that I just took your word for it. I was like, great, okay. I'm not doing math. I'm going to fucking school for math.
Sorry, Michael Sheen. They do look kind of similar.
If they made a Dudley Moore biopic,
Michael Sheen
could absolutely play him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yes, this is my introduction to Dudley Moore. And then later realizing as an adult that he was also the voice of the narrator in Milo and Otis.
Milo couldn't believe what he saw. Could it really be Otis? Don't worry, Otis barked. I'll get you out somehow.
Oh.
Did you not watch Milo and Otis?
I definitely did, but
Okay.
I couldn't. If you paid me $1 million, I wouldn't know.
No, so what happened was, I went back to rewatch Milo and Otis because I was fucking obsessed with that movie as an adult.
And you were like, oh
and
my
I was
God.
like, oh my God, it's Dudley Moore. And then 15 to 20 minutes in, I was like, oh my God, that's what it was. It was Pavlovian. I mean, honestly, it was and I woke up for the end and was like, yay,
I love
they did it.
Oh, I want to watch that movie again. There's so many movies that I want to go back to. I would go back to Milo and Otis. I would go back. We have to do Short Circuit and Short Circuit 2. Double feature.
See, I watched Short Circuit 10,000 times, and the second one maybe once.
I watched Short Circuit 10,000 times and Short Circuit 2 1,000 times.
Okay, great.
But that was the one where he gets gold-plated and American citizenship.
And Fisher Stevens is playing a really offensive Indian character.
The message overall was
is
nice.
inclusive.
Exactly.
Let's all come together in this melting pot.
Oh, people of color can be American citizens in this movie.
And robots that are gold.
What? So anyway,
Dudley Moore.
Yeah.
Stanley Tippins.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So I was worried because I hadn't seen this movie in a while.
Okay.
And I was like, oh no, is the Dudley Moore stuff as funny as I remember, or is it yikesy? It's pretty funny still, I think.
It's pretty
funny. Not so yikesy because Dudley Moore has a really good job of playing smarmy, lovable. Yeah, it's the same thing he did in Arthur. Where
yes.
Obviously we saw what happened when Russell Brand tried to do Arthur and it was a horrible failure.
Well, because he's gross.
He's just gross.
Yeah.
There isn't that lovable, but you're harmless and adorable.
Right.
Really funny thing.
And that was the thing I think that was nice about this was that you kept being oh God. She shows up to him at this bar and is take me home. And he's like, oh.
Because she's being chased by the albino.
Yes.
Can we go out the back way?
Fine with me, Gloria. Anything you say.
And then this whole conversation that he has, and it's kind of a bummer because you do wish that he could find his match.
Honestly, when watching it this time, so he's secretly a quote unquote pervert, I guess, not in a bad way. I don't mean that in a negative way.
Right.
He just has some kinks that he is not able to express.
Yes.
Do you have any binoculars?
What's that? Binoculars? Are you into that too?
And I honestly thought in this watch, he accidentally grabs Stella's ass at the end, and I was like, wouldn't it be so great if
I thought so
was
too.
dominatrix?
Yes! I got this paint up down here. All I wanted was a little.
Hey, watch those hands, Buster.
Well, she says she's not getting messed with unless she wants to get messed.
Exactly.
And I was like, okay, bitch, but
Stella's on board.
Yeah, you choose.
So I think that might have been
the sequel.
I'm gonna rewrite it in my head, and that's what happened.
Great, love it.
And they have a fabulously kinky relationship, and they fulfill each other.
I love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
But oh my God, I don't know what I thought in middle school. I was just really into this movie. I thought he was so funny when he's dancing to Staying Alive.
I mean, he was.
Just all the little
April,
nuances.
because it was the same as a Goofy movie.
It was the same as a Goofy movie. I could watch Dudley Moore dance for the rest of my life. It's so good. It's the little things he does with his. It's so good.
It's very silly.
The amount of money that he put into these built-in.
Thank you.
He's got a built-in projector. He's got a Murphy bed that has lights, and he's got disco balls, built-in speakers.
Yeah. He has the piano that's a bar.
He bothers to fill his sex dolls with helium. That really got me.
I wondered why.
Maybe it's more of a chase me, catch me kind of thing.
Oh boy.
I suddenly think, I know, I'll turn, I'll do swimmy, and then maybe she'll do swimmy too, in a kind of chase me way, and then we do catchy, and underwater sexy.
What I thought was nice about his character was that he was always very respectful. It wasn't like he forced himself on her or anything. And then when she was like, no, why did I have to, and
she's
he was
like,
oh.
And she's not even that judgmental. She's not like, oh, I'm horrified and fuck you and slaps him and leaves or anything. She's just like, Stanley, what is this?
I never knew there was such diversity.
Please come back.
It's amazing. It's just amazing.
And Brian Denny, he shows up. We didn't talk about. He's Chevy Chase's partner. People kept showing up in this movie like, oh, I know them. Okay, so the woman who plays sort of the fancy, the bishop's assistant woman.
Oh my God, she's a lot.
Rachel Roberts, she's a famous British actress. There's people scattered throughout this movie. They're like, Oh, them. Yeah, I know them.
I kept doing that and I was wrong every time, but that's okay.
You know. Because even people that aren't quote unquote famous, they're doing, like, everyone has a part. It feels very lived in. The world.
Yes.
It feels like you really went to San Francisco.
Yes.
The plot is very tight and intricate. Like, it is a extremely well written.
Absolutely. They weave a really good tale and it takes you on a journey and personalized, I guess, which is lived in, but like
just there's little nuances like where she lives alone in this apartment, she gets home and like turns on the TV for comfort. Like there's little things where you feel like she's a real person. Let's say.
She's knitting.
She's knitting.
And you're like, oh, those knitting needles, those are gonna come in handy.
Narcotics? No, knitting!
No, knitting!
A man with a scar. He tried to murder me, but I stabbed him with the needles.
Narcotics, huh?
No, knitting.
She's great.
She's fantastic. I mean, this is my favorite Goldie Hawn movie.
What has Goldie Hawn been up to? Just living her life? Oh, yeah?
It feels like a very well-written, almost Billy Wilder, I mean, I'm saying it, where every character you understand and everything connects with everything else, and even when you're confused or you don't, like, this movie's surprising, like, it takes you on a journey.
Sure,
you were like, oh, but what about, and then it would answer your question immediately. Or it would allude to what was happening, or whatever.
Or it would surprise you to it later on.
Yeah,
You're like, oh, you thought that snake was, you thought it was going to
And every piece is put together like, oh, the connection that she's a librarian, and later on the librarian is what's going to crack the case.
Well, you're the best researcher, Sophie, or whatever her name was.
Yeah, exactly. Like they do, it's just great.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really great.
It really is. I agree. I mean, I really liked it.
Yay! I'm glad because I love this movie.
Good. But that's true. Like even every character was a person, and there was you could tell there was like a backstory for everyone. Like when she's climbing down the fire escape and there's the two old ladies playing Scrabble.
Of course, this was before the war.
Here we are with a 13.
Double word.
And then I like that she goes motherfucker, but M-U-T-H-E-R.
I think that word is spelled with a hyphen.
And double is 52.
Wait, Elsie. I think you're wrong. I think you spelled that word with a hyphen.
Of course, it's that little twist where I'm like that, but mother is spelled with an O.
Oh, what are you doing?
And then I think that word is spelled with it. You're like, oh, thank you. Oh, hyphen. Got me. Well, I was just trying it out.
And I love, so that scene, Gloria has been kidnapped again because she's constantly sort of in peril, but she's constantly saving herself. And it's just a boss.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, and it was funny because, like, again, then there's these things and these tropes and whatever.
Or things that have been set up that then pay off.
So then later on, he's like, oh, well, you're supposed to be this damsel in distress and I'm supposed to save you or whatever.
Hey, wait a minute. It's my ass they're after.
I'm sorry. You're right. That was a stupid, glib, chauvinist remark, and I apologize.
And then, of course, he does make a joke about getting to her ass first.
Yeah.
But, it mentions, like, it's aware of, it's very progressive for 78, I would say.
Sure.
For the amount of topics it's sort of touching on.
Yeah. Actually, that's very true. Like, they could be 88.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
easily.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from the fashion, but, like, yeah. We haven't talked about the fashion.
Oh, the fashion. It was very important to me. It's very important.
I mean, she was giving me real Sandra D.
Oh, yes. Lots of cape legs.
Lacy, yes.
Fabulous little sweater sets, and just loved it. Her hair, I wanted it.
Oh, my God.
Wanted the hair. The rolled up raincoat. Loved it.
Who's her daughter?
Kate Hudson.
Yes.
Who's her daughter?
Now, but Farrah Fawcett has no relation.
No, they had the same hair. Farrah Fawcett was actually up for this part, but something didn't work out. And Steve Martin was up for the Chevy Chase part.
Oh.
I don't think it would have worked.
Not really. He's too,
I feel like he would have.
Like, I don't see Steve Martin as a cop.
I feel like it would have been more about him.
Yes. Yes.
Where Chevy Chase, while he is sort of this egotistical, like, weirdo,
but
it was always about her.
Yeah. She overshadows him.
She's the movie.
Absolutely.
And he's there and
Yes.
he kind of does his bit and then leaves.
If it were any later, it would have been too egotistical. Like,
Yes,
he would have been too far gone that he would have been like, now it's gotta be about me. Now it's gotta be about me. But now...
Weird. So this was the first movie to star a cast member from SNL.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was like before, he was like, I'm too good, I'm quitting.
Right,
SNL,
sure. It was the whole... This was a huge deal.
Yeah, and it was a big success. The movie. We have to talk about his houseboat. Oh my god. Oh,
So many houseboats in... I mean, Sleepless in Seattle was in the 90s, but I just feel like...
I think it's just like a quirky fantasy.
It is.
Because have I ever known anyone, even like...
But we don't live...
Even like twice or thrice removed that's lived on a houseboat? No.
I take it back.
What?
I have a friend of a friend who has a houseboat in Portland on the river.
Do they like live in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I went to it.
Was it great?
No. It was generic. It was like a house that was like on the river.
So it's a fabulous houseboat. I mean, it could use some whitewashing and like a female's touch, and obviously burn the lion sheets.
The lion head pillowcases.
Really, really. But it has like a drop lit fireplace, which I feel like is not up to code in a houseboat.
Oh God.
But oh boy, did I think it was fabulous.
No, it was real chic and
yes. And he's got this little dog, and it looks like Asta from the Thin
Oh my
Man
God, the
series,
dog
and I
is
was
the
like,
cutest.
Yes.
Yeah, little schnauzer. Cute.
I did love, so the movie's very, I mean, I don't even want to say meta or self-aware because it's better than that.
Okay.
Because it's its own thing.
Okay, sure.
You know what I mean? Like, it transcends just being a sort of referential noir, Hitchcockian thriller, rom-com. Like, it becomes its own thing.
Right, yes, sure.
But I do love that you could break down the plot as, like, one of those bad jokes, like, the bishop, the dwarf, the albino, the man with the scar, and his lover walk into a bar. You know, like, it becomes that at some point. And when they're, like, interrogating her, and she's like...
It must have been the albino.
Who's the albino?
He's the one who killed the man with the scar.
You said you killed the man with the scar.
Oh, the albino.
This whole, like, who's on first of this cast, it was really funny.
Yeah, I agree. It makes it really comedic, even though she's recounting this murder.
It does a very good job of, like, keeping her in danger and having the danger be very real, but also not so heavy that it taints it.
Yeah.
I'd say the only part, spoiler alert, that taints it is at the very end. I think they shouldn't have killed the cop.
I agree.
Because that really takes, like, if they just killed the albino and he's hanging from the operatic set, the fact that the cop was also killed and then they're like, we're in love. Yay.
Yeah, we're
like,
making out now, and it's like hanging dead behind you. It's
At
like,
the time it didn't bother me, but watching it this time I was like, ooh, he's dead.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So yes, and Rachel Roberts, we haven't talked about Rachel Roberts enough. So she's the woman, the like housekeeper, a secretary to the bishop.
Oh yeah.
She is putting on this accent.
Oh my God.
And then when she breaks it, it really cracked me up.
Well, now the shit has really hit the fan.
It's great.
But her and Burgess Meredith's fight scene.
Oh my God.
Really,
oh my God.
Really.
It was a lot.
He was my favorite, I think.
Hi!
Oh, shit.
Of course.
Well, aside from Gloria.
Yeah.
They have this whole fight scene that's just, I mean, it's comedy gold. What can I say? Old man fighting a woman. It's great.
Both doing
like high kicks and karate and this is how I feel like a real fight would happen. Like, and I grabbed the plant and shoved it in your face, and like I broke this thing over your head, and like just it's messy and it's funny and
you know what it kind of reminded me of? Atomic Blonde, where the
like
scene just goes on forever.
And you saw their sweat, and they're like, oh my gosh, we're really getting into it. Oh, it was so funny, really cracked me up.
It was the comedic version of that Atomic Blonde, where you're just like, what is this nonsense?
Well, and he has such a story. I mean, he's like an anthropologist that knows all these backstories, and he's, you know, the landlord for
Yeah.
her apartment, and they have such a cool relationship. And
God, I never had me a daughter, but if I did, I'd want her to be you.
Oh, Mr. Hennessy, that's sweet.
And the fact that she just keeps running into Dudley Moore at the bathhouse.
Oh my god. And then in the opera, oh my god.
He's the conductor. Oh, when
The
he
silly
puts on his
sunglasses
sunglasses.
on. Silly.
Dudley Moore makes everything funnier. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
The culmination at the end, and the opera house, and the assassination that's going to happen. I mean, it's
I was just
very...
waiting for the turtle speed to kick in.
Oh my god.
Ooh, that's also a retro view.
Ooh. Oof. Yes. But this is very The Man Who Knew Too Much. I mean, like, with the symphonies and the opera playing and the assassination and the plot that's foiled, and like, I knew, you know, Gloria is like, oh, I found out something I wasn't supposed to know, and all of these things, and like, I've gone down this rabbit hole of whatever. Has a classic song over the credits.
Don't sing it.
Que sera sera.
Oh wait, is that what?
That's from The Man Who Knew.
Right.
Ready?
No! Damn it.
With you, ready to put my love on the line. So yeah, I really don't want to like explain the plot too much because it's so intricate and it's so well told, and all the pieces fit together.
But also, it's so not important to talking about the movie, if that makes sense.
Absolutely not. Like, the enjoyment of the movie is just enhanced by the plot.
Yeah, we can talk about how well written it is, and that's the important part, without talking about like the details of it. Because I really do think just
Bit
go
by
watch
bit.
it.
I would say
Go watch it.
100% go watch it. I'm so glad that I found this movie and that I still love it. And Gloria Mundy is really a heroine of mine. Like, I really am attached to her.
She's great.
She's great.
I love too that it was like Gloria Excelsis Deo or whatever.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
of course, but of course,
Gloria,
because everything fits together.
Yeah.
All the puzzle
And
pieces,
really,
every single piece.
It's well thought out, well written.
Honestly, now that I think about it, I feel like that dog was picked specifically because it's the Thin Man, and those are classic murder mysteries.
Probably.
Was that a reference, Colin Higgins, who may or may not be dead because I didn't look it up? Was that a reference to Thin Man? So anyway, cheers to this movie.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grant, for picking it.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to rewatch.
It really was.
Cheers to this movie.
Yeah, it was really great.